In 1971 is the soil of Bangladesh. It is not a diplomatic history. It is a people's war. Yet, over the years, serious questions have emerged about how the events of 1971 are narrated, particularly the allegations that India's ruling exaggerated, while the actual wartime reality is blurred. This discussion focuses on the specific concern that Prothom Alo, through repeated narratives, has amplified India's rule in ways that do not fully reflect the happened during the war itself. What actually happened during the war? The Liberation War began on March 26, 1971. For 9 long months, the primary resistance came from Bangladesh's freedom fighter, ordinary civilian, po- political organizers, defector from the Pakistani military, a population resisting genocide with limited resources. During this period, India did not formally enter the war. This is not opinion. This is historical sequencing. India's directly military intervention occurred only in December 1971. But why? Not before. Near the very end of the conflict. It's a very suspected time. Okay, is the end of the war. India supported and engaged our military force. It's a question. By then, the war was already raging. Blood had already been shed. Resistance has already been bold. The core allegation. The allegation is not that India's played on no role. The regulation is this. India's late stage intervention is often presented as the central reason for liberation. Overshadowing 9 months of Bangladesh resistance. This creates a distorted balance. Support becomes the story, sacrifice becomes a footnote. From support of overstatement, India's provided support, training, shelter, diplomatic pressure. What is part of history? But support is not the same as ownership of victory. When media narratives gradually shift language from fight India supported too. India made Bangladesh independent. History crosses into exaggeration, and this exaggeration is what critics accuse Prothom Alo of repeating subsidy consistently and without adequate correction. Prothom Alo is always supported endure endure rules and regulation, but Prothom Alo are honors in Bangladesh, and so they are also influenced in India's politics. Okay, I don't know. So of course, Bangladesh people know about the Prothom Alo news part. Okay, whole language matters. Words shape memory. When headlines, columns, and feature repeatedly highlights India as the deceivers. This is the fact. Okay, and the this is the fact. India's always India's political columns are on feature, and there's also what I say it's a blur showing headlines is the problem. Okay, as a whole, underplaying Bangladesh's agency of psychological shift occurs. Liberation starts sounding like a grant, not a struggle. For a younger generation who did not witness 1971, media narratives often become their primary history books. Okay, this and now I just interrupt in this part. Okay, just you just read these some articles of Prothom Alo's Prothom Alo reports. Okay, This maximum article just their own narratives. Okay, this is not a public narratives. They're just I think just they are totally affected in India's the politics and their culture. Okay, but media and the distorted emphasize become inherited belief. Okay, critics point out that certain realistic receive for the less attention. Independent guerrilla operation, international resistance network, political organization under extreme repression. Okay, the scale of civil sacrifice, the fact that the war existed long before December. When these are minimized, history becomes incomplete. So I think this is the in Pakistan and Bangladesh war in 1971 is actually against the India's rules and regulation. Yes, I know this. India to totally pressure in Bangladesh. It also is the geographical politics. India all the time so want to divide yes in West Pakistan. Okay, and they also think that is if these two one countries is two provinces are at is there also a future depression. Okay, new future depression things. So there also things. So there's I just support the next time and totally, just, and it's just I show now, and already I show this some article and some rights. There are how many exaggerated their rights in in these articles. Okay, this is not a all are true. Okay, sometimes it is not a fault, but all are not a true. Maximum is 90. Sorry, 70 or 80% is mistake. Okay, mistake. Their own narratives, not a human. Okay, and incomplete history is misleading history. Okay, true. One article can be mistake, one headline can be food judgment. There's no judgment when write the article. Okay, so there's a problem. But when the same framing repeats over the year, it stop being accidentally. This is the problem. When they first of all they post the fault news, and after that they also just try to it's a stop accident. Okay, there's the narratives. It's become narratives conditioning. This is why critics say that issues is not a struggle report but a pattern of the specific that favor one interpretation of 1971. Okay, so now I just the history accuracy. Okay, I mean I just think gadget does not require exaggeration. Bangladesh can acknowledge as assistance without surrounding ownership of this liberation. The repeat the request lies accuracy, not inflation. So the Prothom Alo in Bangladesh English portals, Bengali portals, magazine. So these the of course have a big history, but I think just of course need a some correction and also support in Bangladeshi narratives. Okay, Bangladesh narratives. They are also Bangladesh news portal, so they should be supported in Bangladesh people, Bangladesh team. All thing should be Bangladesh. So I requested to the some. I think there's some newspaper or news online portal or newspapers also, and there should be maintains their language and there should be maintains the Bangladeshi politics moments. So all that support. And so we also not a enemy for India. So just we think this India is good, not good for us in this moment. Thank you so much.